Dear third prep, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. It's Mr. Mahmoud with you today to introduce a new mathematics lesson. Welcome to the second term lessons. Today, inshallah, we have Algebra Unit 1, Lesson 1. The lesson is called Solving Two Equations of First Degree of Two Variables. In this lesson, inshallah, we are going to learn how to solve two equations in two variables, x and y, by two different ways, graphically and algebraically. Okay, and we are going to learn how can we solve the two equations and finding the solution set from the graph, and by two different ways called omitting and substitution method. Let's start the lesson. First, we are going to start with this example. Okay, solve the equation graphically, the two equations graphically. The first equation is 2x minus y equal 5. This equation from the first degree, here x in the first degree and y first degree. Okay, the second equation, x and y also are in the second degree. To solve the two equations graphically, we have learned in the first term how can we represent straight line in the graph. Okay, by forming a table for this equation and put x in place of x three numbers, whatever 0, 1, 0, 1 and 2, okay, and then finding the value of y from the equation and then represent them. Let's see this one. First, I'm going to call the first equation L1 because this is the first line. Okay, here by looking carefully, 2x minus y equal 5. First, I'm going to send 2x to the other side. It will be 5 minus 2x. Again, I'm going to send 2x to the other sides. It will be 5 minus 2x. But here I have negative y, so it will be positive y equal 2x minus 5, like this. Okay? Now I'm going to form a table like this. In place of x, I will choose the easiest numbers as 0, 1, and 2, like this. 0. Okay, if x equals 0, so I'm going to put here 0 in place of x. 2 times 0 equal 0, minus 5 equal negative 5. And the other value of x is 1. 2 times 1 equal 2, minus 5 equals negative 3, like this. Here I'm going to put 2. 2 times 2 equal 4. 4 minus 5 equal negative 1. Okay, now I'm going to represent the three values, okay, in the graph like this. Here the first point, 0 and negative 5, lie in y-axis, as you see, down. Okay, and 1 and negative 3 represent here, go right to 1 and then go down to negative 3, like this. Okay, and here 2 and negative 1, go right to 2 and go down to negative 1. It will be here like this. So I'm going to connect the 3 points, okay, by a straight line, and this line is L1, as I said before. Okay, the second equation, here it is easier to send y, not x. Okay, again, it's easier to send y to the other side. I'm going to send 1 to the other side and 3y to the other side. So x will be equal negative 3y minus 1, like this. Equal negative 3y minus 1. Here I'm going to write the table, but now I'm going to put values in place of y, because this equation is x in terms of y. Okay, so I'm going to write in place of y 0, 1, and 2. Okay, if y equals 0, so negative 3 times 0 minus 1 equals negative 1. So x equals negative 1. If y equals 1, negative 3 times 1 minus 1 equals negative 4. If y equals 2, so negative 3 times 2 minus 1 equals negative 7, like this. Now I'm going to represent the three values of the table in the graph. Okay, here negative 1 and 0, negative 1 and 0 represent in x-axis negative 1 and 0 here in this position, negative 4 and 1, negative 4 and go up to 1 here in this position, finally negative 7 and 2, here negative 7 and go up to 2 here in this position. And finally, I'm going to connect the 3 points by a straight line like this. This is L2. By looking carefully, the 2 straight lines intersect here in this point. This point is called the solution of the 2 equations. What is the solutions of the 2 equations? Is the intersection point between the 2 straight lines. Here, this point is opposite to 2 at x and opposite to negative 1 at y. So the intersection between the 2 straight lines is the solution set of the equation, which is 2 and negative 1. So I'm going to write 2 and negative 1 between brackets. And because this is a set, so I'm going to put the bracket inside the set like this. Here, the solution set equal 2 and negative 1 between brackets and the brackets inside the set. Okay, the other example, solve the 2 equations y equal to x minus 2x minus 2 and 2y minus 4x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, here by looking to the first equation, it's very prepared to find the table. Okay, so I'm going to write L1 as we see. Okay, and so I'm write the table like this. In place of x, I'm going to write 0, 1, and 2 as usual. Okay, 0. In place of x, I'm going to write 0. 2 times 0 minus 2 equals negative 2. And in place of x, again, I'm going to write 1. So it will be 2 times 1 minus 2 equals 0. Here, I'm going to write 2 again in place of x. 2 times 2 minus 2 equals 2. Okay. Now, I'm going to represent the 3 values of x and y at the graph like this. Here, 0 and negative 2 lie here at y-axis in this position. 1 and 0 lie here in x-axis in this position. Finally, 2 and 2 as we see here. And then I'm going to connect the 3 points by a straight line like this. The other one, here I'm going to send minus 4x to the right side and minus 2 to the right side and then divided by 2. It will be like this. Y equal 2x plus 1. Then I'm going to write the table. In place of x, I'm going to write 0, 1, and 2. If x equals 0, y equal 1. If x equal 1, y equal 3. If x equal 2, y equal 5. Okay? Then I'm going to connect the 3 points. 0 and 1 lie here at this position. 1 and 3 go right to 1 and go up to 3 in this position. 2 and 5, 2 and go up to 5 in this position. And then I'm going to connect the 3 points like this. Now, by looking carefully, there isn't any intersection between the 2 straight lines. I have now 2 parallel lines. Then there isn't any solutions for these 2 equations. Then the solution set of this equation is phi. Okay, so if the 2 straight lines intersect, then the solution is the intersected point. And if the 2 straight lines are parallel, then the solution set equal phi. Okay, now let's study the other part of the lesson, how to solve 2 equations algebraically by the omitting method. Here, by using the omitting method, find the solution set of the following 2 equations in R product R, where the first equation 2x minus y equal 5. The other equation is 3x plus x plus 3y plus 1 equals 0. Okay, first I'm going to write the first equation like this without change. And I'm going to call this one equation number 1. Okay, now I'm going to organize the second equation to be looks like the first equation. How come? I'm going to write x below x, y below y, equal below equal, and the number below the number. So I need now to send 1 to the right side to be organized like the first equation. So the equation will be x plus 3y equal negative 1, like this. Okay? X plus 3y equals negative 1. This is the second equation. Okay, now I need to make x multiplicative inverse to each other or y multiplicative inverse to each other. It's up to you. Now I see here 3y and the negative y. So to make y multiplicative inverse to each other, so I'm going to multiply the first equation by 3. Okay, or to make the x multiplicative inverse to each other, so I'm going to multiply the second equation by negative 2. So you can solve this by two different ways. Multiplying the first 1 by 3 to make y multiplicative inverse to each other, or multiplying the second by negative 2 to make x multiplicative inverse to each other, like this. Okay, now I will choose to multiply the second one by negative 2. X times negative 2 equal negative 2x. 3 times negative 2 equal negative 6y. Negative 1 times negative 2 equal positive 2. Okay, as I said, negative 2x, negative 6y, and positive 2. This is equation number 2. And I'm going to write equation 1 without change. 2x minus y equal 5, like this. Okay, now I'm call this 1 and I'm call this 2. Okay, here I need to omit x. So I'm going to add the two equations. Again, I need to omit x. So I need to add the two equations. Okay, 2x plus negative 2x equals 0. Like this. And negative 1 plus negative 6 equal negative 7y. And 5 plus 2 equals 7. Now, I'm going to send the negative 2 to the right side by divide. So y equals 7 divided by negative 7 equal negative 1. Okay? And by substitute y negative 1 in equation 2. You can choose equation 1 or equation 2. It's up to you. Now, it's easier for me to choose equation 2. Okay? So I'm going to write here negative 1. X plus 3 times negative 1 equals negative 3. And then I'm going to send 3 from here to the right side positive. So it will be negative 1 plus 3 equal 2. So x equal 2. Finally, I'm going to write the value of y and the value of x between brackets like this to be 2 and negative 1. This is the algebraically solution for these two equations. Okay, now I have a word problem. The sum of two numbers is 14, and twice the greater exceed 3 times the smaller by 3. Okay, first, I'm going to call the two numbers x and y. So, let the two numbers be x and y. The first equation, the sum of the two numbers is 14. So, x plus y equal 14. This is the first equation, x plus y equal 14. The second equation, okay, twice the greater, which is 2x. Okay, exceed represent minus. Here exceed, okay, means more than. When I see comparison, so I'm going to write minus. So it will be 2x minus 3 times y. 3 times y, okay, equal 3. So it will be like this. 2x minus 3y equals 3. This is twice the greater. This is exceed. This is 3 times the smaller equal 3. This is the second equation. Now I'm going to multiply the first equation by 3, y, okay, by 3 to make y multiplicative inverse to each other. So the first equation will be 3x, 3y, and 42. Again, 3x, 3y, and 42. This is the first equation. The second equation written without change like this. And now I'm going to add the two equations to omit y like this. So it will be negative 3y equals 0. 3 plus 2x equal 5x. And 42 plus 3 equal 45. Now I'm going to send 5 to the right side with divide. So x equal 45 divided by 5 equals 9. Okay. And by substitute in equation 1. So I'm going to write here 9 plus y equal 14. So I'm going to send 9 to the right side with minus. So it will be 14 minus 9 equal 5. Finally, the two numbers are 9 and 5. And this is the solution of this word problem. Okay, and this is the end of the lesson. I hope it was helpful for you. See you inshallah in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.